I'm Edge Wenka, and I'm here with the Deputy Director of the Tourist Board, Mrs. Malcia Smith Hamilton. Welcome, good to see you.
It's good to be here. Thank you for having us.
Yes. And we also have with us this evening Mr. John Rose, is here in the BVI with the Tourist Board, conducting a communication crisis workshop, a communication crisis workshop. That's interesting.
Let's just flip it the other way and call it crisis
communication.
communication.
Crisis communication. Crisis communication.
Yes.
Okay, that makes more sense. We're going to talk a little bit about what that means and how you train people to speak during a time of crisis.
Certainly.
Yes. And of course, we have Mrs. Faye Smith Penn. She's the manager of the small properties. And we're going to be talking about some initiatives and how we enhance those properties. Welcome to Spotlight.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yes. I want to start with you, Ms. Hamilton Smith. There's a new Miss Smith Hamilton.
Yes.
You know, like
I know you do that.
You know, I do it all the time, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Let me calm down.
Yes.
Miss Smith Hamilton, a new initiative. We are one BVI
Yes.
service training.
Yes. Yes.
You have heard the cry of the people of the Virgin Islands about service.
Oh, cry.
You've heard our cry
Yes.
about service.
Yes. We've heard our cry.
We've heard our cry.
And because we are one BVI, we came up with this slogan, we are one BVI. And this initiative, it encompasses the principle of good customer service to all. We believe to focus on customer service, we have to treat each other as a guest, not a visitor, mark you. Our objective in this program is to establish standards of excellence, to provide tourism industry with clear standards and expectations. We will talk a little bit more about that. We want to introduce the 10 promises. We want to ensure residents incorporate these 10 promises into their everyday lives. The philosophy behind this is it doesn't matter where you're from. As long as you live in the BVI, we are one BVI.
And so we should expect that the service is at a standard across the board.
Across the board, it doesn't matter.
So tourists don't get a better service than a resident.
We have to start with ourselves. That's what we're saying. We're to treat each other as we're guests. And then when the tourists come in, it would be a part of us. It would be something that we do naturally. So that's the trust behind the whole concept of this We Are One BVI. And we have many workshops, the crisis being just one of them. We have customer service, we have housekeeping. I mean, we're going to the various sister islands. We have on-site training. There's a number of things that we're doing. We're also looking at developing the standards program, or I should say getting back into the standards program. And Faye will talk a little bit about that. So it's a comprehensive plan that we're looking at, not just to do workshops.
You know, we have a attitude, some say, that we think of service as servitude.
Yes, I know, we've heard that.
Yes. Some of these workshops are going to be addressing that particular issue.
Well,
we're going to get our mentalities, our mindset change into the business aspect of tourism and the business aspect of service.
We're definitely hoping to do that. One of the things I think it's important is when we are facilitating the workshops, we're not going in as we are separate. We're going in as a part of it is all BVI, and together we can accomplish anything. That's the philosophy. So, as I said before, the general consensus among us is that we're in this together. And because we're in this together, we have to work collaboratively together to ensure that the level of service territory-wide is consistent. And that's what we're looking to do. I know that we've had many discussions about customer service.
Yes.
And I'm sure that
And I'm excited.
you're excited about that, because we're very excited. We have, as I said before, many training components to it. But we also have a jingle that I'll talk to you about a little later on. Because you know the window of opportunity for training and workshops is small. In season, it's too busy. Off season, the hotels are closed. So we have a jingle competition that we're going to be playing the jingle once we pick the grand prize winner. It will be played all year round, and the slogan is "We're One BVI." You know, so we're doing a number of things.
So the jingle is ready?
No, the competition is out there.
So you're having a competition?
We're having a competition. It started June 14th, and it goes on until July 15th.
Okay.
So we have the criteria, we have all the guidelines that we'll share with you tonight.
Well, let's do that now.
Okay, Faye?
Yeah,
Yes.
let's do that.
The jingle, if you're submitting a jingle, it should be 30 to 60 seconds long. And we are looking for all of the talented persons, residents in the British Virgin Islands. So please come on out and show us what you can do. Some of the criteria include having words such as BVI or British Virgin Islands, national pride, courtesy or courteous, ambassador. Those are some of the things that we are looking for, and customer service. Because this will be one of the tools which we will be marketing the We Are One BVI campaign. So we want to definitely make sure that the jingle includes customer service, national pride, BVI, ambassador, courteous or courtesy. It's not limited just to those words, but those are some of the important ones that we are looking for.
And if persons who want to participate want to get more information about the jingle and the criteria,
Yes.
who to call?
They can call the BVI Tourist Board at 494-3134. They can also collect application forms, and they can also contact and email Kay Donovan at BVI Tourist Board. Also, Mrs. Hamilton, myself, Mrs. Brickman.
Okay.
Also on the Virgin Gorda office, we do have a Virgin Gorda office. Submissions can also go to that office. The number there is 495-5181. I want to tell you just a little bit about the judging criteria. Originality of lyrics is 40%. Originality of the melody is 25%. The message clarity and relevance is 20%, and creativity is 15%. And it's not being judged by BVI Tourist Board staff. We have independent judges that will be judging.
And of course, guess what the next question is?
What is it?
What are the prizes?
Well, you know, we're always happy to partner with various establishments, and Peter Island has agreed to sponsor a staycation for 2 persons to experience the culinary. You get to wine and dine in the restaurant, and you also get to unwind in the spa. 2 person at the spa. So it's a staycation at Peter Island.
It's just a 1 day, 2 day staycation?
It's a 1 day staycation at Peter Island, and you get, as I said, you get to experience the culinary at Peter Island.
Yes.
And of course the spa, 10,000 square foot spa. You get to unwind and relax.
So you get to be pampered
And spoiled.
for the day.
Yes.
Okay. Now, any particular genre, the type of music? It's got to be reggae, got to be calypso, fungi,
We're not limiting.
rhythm and blues.
It has to be catchy.
The more original
You know?
it is, the better.
Yeah, it has to be something that's catchy, because remember, this is something that's going to be played throughout the island all year round. You know, we started brainwashing us into thinking that we are one. We're in this
Thinking we're
together.
one, thinking
You know,
service.
customer service every time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the workshops. Well, let me bring in.
Yes.
Speaking of workshops, let me bring in Mr. John Rose. You're here for 2 days for a 2 day workshop. Starting when?
Starting tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, so we run all day tomorrow and all day Thursday.
And you,
All day.
And you are here from the Caribbean Tourism Organization.
That's correct, yes. The Caribbean Tourism Organization, we're headquartered in Barbados. We've got over 30 members, so we're twice as large as CARICOM, and they speak every, 4 main languages and every other dialect that you can think about, from Dutch to Papiamento to Creole to, so right across. We've got large members from Bermuda, and you ask, is Bermuda in the Caribbean? For our purposes, yes. And through the Bahamas, right through down south to Venezuela and Cuba. All of these are members of the Caribbean Tourism Organization. And the BVI, as a member, is entitled to certain services, and one of the things that we do for our members is training in a number of areas: human resource development, taxi drivers training, we do a lot, travel agents, and also in this area of crisis communication and communication on a whole. It's a relatively new addition to what we offer at the CTO. Traditionally we didn't, but we now do that, and we felt that the BVI now is a good time. They're doing all of this training in various areas, and I thought the We Are One initiative is fabulous, and so that's part of what we're doing.
Yeah, we certainly moving quickly to enhance our tourism product, and
Yes.
we have to commend the tourist board for the fine job that they are doing. It's a lot going on. Crisis in the BVI. What do we define that as?
If anything, and that can impact on your tourism, is a crisis, negatively impact any incident, event that can impact. And if we're looking at it strictly from a tourism perspective, there are various definitions of crises that we will explore, about 3 or 4 of them tomorrow. I like the Oxford Dictionary that talks about getting to a point where it's death or life. But there are various definitions. For tourism, it is any event that can impact on your tourism, clearly impact negatively, and travel to your country. And that could be anything, can't it? It could be something as simple as a tourist drowning at Joost van Dyke, to a hurricane, to an earthquake. So the crisis will vary, of course. The severity of it will vary. The response and how you deal with it and what you say when you have a crisis, that's important. I often say to them that you may not be able to prevent a crisis, but you can use the occasion to enhance your image. If you say something stupid, it can hurt you, and it's always very difficult to bounce back. The energy that you've got to put into it, the cost of bouncing back. So you've got to know what to say and what not to say, and how quickly you respond. I will use an example. I was just going through a number of these most recent crises, and one of the most recent one was the Carnival Triumph, and the fire that broke on, the poop thing that they call it, and it took them 2 days to put out a statement. You can't. In a crisis, you've got to be rapid in your response. So these are some of the things that we will be exploring over the next 2 days.
Okay. And so persons coming out of the going to the workshop can expect to come out with.
Well, people who get into the workshop can expect to come out with a few skills. First of all, we're going to spend time tomorrow introducing the relationship, what the relationship could be like between you and the media. That's the first thing, because in a crisis, the media is critical to you in getting the information out. All types of media. So how do you establish and maintain a relationship with the media? That's the first thing we're going to talk about, even before we touch the whole issue of crises. We will also talk about how best to talk to the media. When they're doing what they're doing here tonight, how best do you do that to be most effective? So I like to call it communicating like a pro. You see all of these people do it, and you wonder, but how do they do it, and why are they as effective as they are? We will deal with that, and so we expect them to be better at that. And then how do you put together a message and deliver it effectively? Who are the best examples at that? And we haven't touched a crisis yet, have we?
Right.
But if you don't know how to communicate with the media, then I'm coming in here and saying, well, this is how you should communicate during a crisis, but I haven't then dealt with how to communicate that to the media effectively, then I've wasted my time and yours. So we're going to spend time doing that. So the people who come, by the end of the day tomorrow, will have a much better idea of how to communicate to the media, how to do a television interview properly, how to do a radio interview properly. how to prepare a message and deliver an effective message properly, and how to keep it short. Because I'm saying earlier today that in the Caribbean I've noticed that we've got a tendency to say in 20 minutes what we can say in 20 seconds. We don't speak in sound bites, if you may. So we've got to learn that. We will do a number of exercises, so some people will actually be involved in the simulation. We will test them. I begin the day by doing an interview. That's the first thing we do. Call you in, say, let's do an interview, and let's critique it now. Let's see how you did. So you've got an opportunity to see where you are, where you're beginning the day, and as the day progresses, we will do 2, maybe 3 more, depending on how things progress. And by the end of the day, you ought to see your progress. You ought to see the improvements that you've made, and we'll do the same thing with the messages. And then we talk about the crisis.
Okay.
And
we're going to take a break for a word from our sponsors, and we're going to come back. We're going to continue the discussion with about the crisis communication, and of course we want to talk about all the workshops that is going to be coming up starting this month, that have started already.
Yeah.
That have started already. That's going to run through to November.
Yes.
And so we want to give persons some information about the workshops, how they can attend, and and whether this the crisis communication is free, and where is it being held, and a whole bunch of information. I need to know. When we come back after these words from our sponsors.
Spotlight is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, Clarence Thomas Limited, the BVI Tourist Board, and CCT Global Communications.
Welcome back to Spotlight. I'm Edjurenka, and I'm here with the Deputy Director of the Tourist Board, Mrs. Marcia Smith Hamilton. Also, I'm here with communication specialists from the Caribbean Tourism Organization, Mr. John Rose. He's going to be giving a 2-day workshop starting tomorrow about how to communicate in a crisis situation. And also Ms. Faye Smith Penn is here talking about the initiatives developing for small properties. We left off talking about, of course, crisis communication. I want to know, where is it going to be held?
it's at the Treasure Isle.
Yes.
So it's just around the corner from you, isn't it?
Just around the corner.
Yeah. and it begins at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I have a tendency to begin on time.
Okay. So that would be tomorrow morning.
9.
9.
And it's not like 9-ish. It's 9.
9.
And it's 9 until the end of the day. And, you
9
know,
to 5.
I might drag them until 7 if necessary.
7. And you're serving lunch.
Yes.
Is there a cost?
No.
And this is free of charge?
This is free to our industry partners.
Yeah, and your industry partners are the tourism industry partners.
The tourism industry partners.
Mm-hmm.
This particular workshop is geared towards our industry this time.
Okay. So I guess I can't come.
I don't want to say you can't come, but what I will say is our focus is to help the smaller properties,
Mm-hmm.
to give them the information that's necessary. You heard John Rose speak about all the things. And as he was talking, I was like, it sounds like I need to go so that I can learn how to communicate to the media. Because sometimes, you know, you guys are a bit of a challenge. So it sounds like some real great information is going to be shared.
I need to learn how to be a better talk show host. I need to learn.
That's a different course.
But I mean, I think I could still learn some things from that as well. But it's mostly for the hoteliers, the boating industry, all the persons in the tourism industry.
Yes, right. Yes.
Need to come.
And we're very happy to say that we got very positive feedback. In fact, we're fully booked for tomorrow. So it means then we'll have to do it again.
Yes, you're going to have to definitely do it again.
I mean, we have industry partners coming from Just Van Dyke, Virgin Gorda. You know, people see the importance of this, and we're happy about that.
Yeah, it's certainly an important event. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to jump on it right away.
Yeah,
I'm actually quite pleasantly surprised at the response that I got when I got in and they said, "We've got about 40." Are you kidding me? I asked, isn't that the entire population of Tortola going to be here?
Just be careful. Just be careful. But it speaks to how important tourism is
But
to
that
us.
is it.
Yes,
That's the important
yeah.
thing, and that's why I was pleasantly surprised that we do have that many people interested, and recognizing, first of all, that there's a need, because we can say it's important to us, and but recognizing that there's a need for that sort of training, that we do have crises. And I made reference to the drowning at Jost van Dyke. It's because you had the drowning at Jost van Dyke, and that's a crisis, and how do you deal with that?
We've had several
You know?
incidences over the last few months, and it seems
Yeah,
we've
yeah.
got quite a few crises over the last
Yes.
few months. But I want to ask Ms. Smith-Penn, when did this thing start? When did these two last names things start? Yeah, it's like it used to be, you got married, you took your husband's last name,
the Smiths.
and then,
You know,
anyway.
you would understand. Smith is a good thing to give up. You'd understand, right?
It's
You're
true.
a Smith, right?
It's true. I have given it up, but standards in the industry regarding smart properties. What are some of the initiatives that's coming on stream in that regard?
As one of the components for the We Are One BVI, we are embarking on having a national standardized program for the tourism industry. And in order for us to do that, we will be addressing some of the properties, and we will be circulating some assessment forms to find out where we should focus, one, or training, how we can assist you in developing your standards. We will also be given some feedback as to this is where we would like you to be as it relates to us being competitive with our international destinations. So, firstly, for the next 2 months, we will be contacting the industries, and we will be finding out, what are some of your challenges? How can we at the BVI Tourist Board assist you? Is it related to training? Is it related to marketing? And also, we will be going to different sectors like retail, supermarkets, and we will be conducting some surveys. So we do encourage the establishment to support us, so that when we approach and say we would like to do this and get some feedback, that you will be very receptive towards us.
What standards you think that we need in our smart properties that we don't already have? Standards in what areas of service, of accommodations, and so on?
Well,
I think it's a combination of.
it's very broad. It starts from customer service, and in every aspect of whether it's accommodation, whether it's in food and beverage, we need to ensure that the standards are close to the international standards.
So, for instance, food, for example, we need to make sure that we have
The
good quality of food and
the type
well
of-
prepared and well
yes,
prepared
yes,
food.
definitely.
Our initial focus, however, is on the customer service first frontline interaction. And we're doing this because, you can put on a workshop. We all know you can put on a workshop, but workshops are limited. You could only scratch the surface. So what we're trying to do is really ascertain where we are in terms of our service. And in so doing, we'll be able to tailor and design programs specifically for different properties. Part of the We Are One BVI is going into individual properties. So we have the workshops, and then we have where we will go on site and work with the various properties to help to improve
So you're going to be
service.
doing a general assessment of the level of service, the standard of
Yes.
service
Yes.
in the
Yes.
overall industry.
Yes.
And we also will be providing feedback back to the establishments to say these are some of the comments and these are the areas where some improvements can be made. And then in the next quarter we will be coming back and doing another assessment and seeing where the improvements have been made.
So the persons in the industry can expect you to show up at their door to assess the quality of their service or the
Well,
standard of
first-
service in their business?
First of all, we will be reintroducing ourselves into the industry. I work very closely with Mrs. Vioni Pickren, the standards manager, and myself, the small properties accommodations manager. So we will be first. We wouldn't be just showing up. We will be reintroducing ourselves to the industry. We will be telling the industry a little bit more about the We Are One BVI campaign, why it is important, why standards are important to your property and to the destination, you know, and some of the benefits as it relates to productivity, return guests.
But are you gonna get a fair assessment doing it that way? You know, everybody gonna be on their best tourist board coming, clean up the uniform. You know, make sure your uniform is washed, it's well tucked in.
Well, you know, we have
you're smiling all the time.
Well, that's a fair question. Perhaps some may do that, but we also have a mystery shopping element to it, where they will not know. But for us to really know where we are, what we're trying to do is to work with the industry. We're hoping that they embrace this, because We Are One BVI is really important to us in the tourist board. It is our passion. We want to work with the various industry partners so that together we can improve the standards. In order for us to improve, we have to acknowledge where we are first and what needs to be done so that we can improve.
So you would expect then that the managers and the owners of the properties would keep your coming.
They would embrace us.
Well, they'll keep your
Yes.
coming a secret to the general
Yeah,
staff.
well, yeah, that'd be nice.
So that the staff wouldn't know, and because it's beneficial to them to know how their staff is performing, because a lot of the managers, I don't think,
May
know
not be on
how the staff performs. I don't know if they pay attention. And I mean, when I go out, I'm flabbergasted.
Right.
I think we all are.
At the level of
Yeah,
service,
that's-
and I'm wondering who's managing these places.
Yeah, it's really disheartening.
And we have this attitude. Our businesses have this attitude that a waitress, a waiter, a server, you could just pick up anybody. It's a low quality job. It's
Yeah.
not a.
And it's so important.
Yeah.
They're frontline people.
I mean,
And it's a whole attitude change that we need to look at, because it is a challenge. It's a challenge, and we talk about sometimes we go into a restaurant and we're amazed. And one of the things that we said is, it seems like it has become the norm. We have accepted that this is the service. We've accepted it. So
Yes.
sometimes we're to blame as well, because we've accepted it.
well, I'm afraid to say anything
I've had that.
to the waitress or the waiter about the service, because they never, everybody thinks that if you say something to them, something will happen to
Yeah.
the food.
It's true. It's true.
And also in the industry, it seems to be the norm that we should treat the residents a certain way and the
Yeah,
visitors
yeah.
a certain way.
It's the
Yes,
truth.
I
And
mean,
the tourists are different.
I mean, I'm sitting at one table and I get a grouchy hello,
Yeah.
and
And then
they throw the
somebody
stuff down on
comes
my
in.
table,
Yes.
and then a
Really
tourist
hungry.
comes in or a visitor comes in, and
Yes.
their face lights
It's
up.
the truth.
And
It's the truth.
and I'm saying, well,
And you
gee,
know-
what's wrong with me? I'm giving off a bad attitude.
Yeah, I tell you. And service has no color or nationality, and we need to remember that.
Yeah. So you could tell that we fall on at 10
Yes,
o'clock.
I see that. We have to come back.
Okay, there's some things that I didn't ask that you want to talk about.
Well,
I think that we did pretty well.
Yeah, well, what I want to say is that the entire schedule of training is on our website, www.bvitourism.com, or they can call the office, 494-3134, or they can email Kenta Donovan, kdonovan@bvitourism.com.
Okay. Now you got a lot of workshops coming up. Can you talk about the categories, or
All right.
what types of
Okay.
workshops you have coming up?
Okay, we have a variety of workshops. Of course, we have the crisis management. We also have customer service training, know your products, which I'm sure is one of the things that you talked about a lot. Food and beverage, housekeeping. We mostly have, although it's customer service, it focuses on different areas within the customer service. So we have quite a few workshops that we're going to be.
And these workshops are going to be held where?
They're going to be held throughout the BVI. We have some that's going to be held in Totola, at different places, some on Virgin Gorda, Anegada, and Just Van Dyke. So we're trying to spread the love.
And anybody that wants to get information about any particular workshop could go on the website,
Go on the website. The entire schedule is on the website.
and the locations and the times and
They
so on.
For some, no, but the dates are on, and then they can contact us if they need additional information.
And all of this is free.
All of this is free.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
Yes, it's a great initiative. I'm excited about it, and I'm excited for the Tourist Board. Showing initiative. We have a raffle to draw.
Oh yes, we do. We do. We do.
We have a raffle to draw, and
All right,
this
so you get to say what they win.
and this is for
This is the winner of the staycation at our marketplace in April. We had the participants. They filled out a form, and we kept the form, and now we're raffling publicly. We're going to have you draw the winner. Is that okay?
that's fine with me.
So let's shake it up a little bit.
And since I don't have a ticket in there, I can't look for my ticket.
All right,
I only make sure I take out one.
go deep, go deep.
Okay.
Yes. And then Faye will tell you. In the meantime, Faye, can you tell us what we're going to win?
Okay, the lucky
So
winner
this is it here.
That's it.
Okay.
Tonight's accommodations at Rose Road Little Lakes Bay Resort, inclusive of breakfast at the Pavilion Restaurant, and this includes transfer from Tortola, if the person is from Tortola, and also transfers within Virgin Gorda. The certificate can only be redeemed between present until the 17th of December 2013.
All right. So the
Go-
grand
go-
So that
go-
person has to act very fast.
So go and get your claim your grand prize right
Yes.
away.
Yes.
Okay. So should I read out the name or you? read it?
Please, you
Okay.
please.
His name
Drum
is-
roll.
Oh, is it? Okay. Miss Natasha James. Miss
Ah.
Natasha
Okay.
James, and she works for Hodges Creek Marina Hotel.
Wow.
So Miss Natasha James, that's you.
Wow.
Right there, you're the winner of the staycation, and it's tell us about what she won again one more
She
time.
received accommodations, 2 nights accommodations for 2 at Rosebud Little Lakes Bay Resort, inclusive of breakfast at the Pavilion Restaurant, and it also includes transfer from Beef Island to Tortola.
That's a hot
And
staycation.
we just want to thank our partners, Little Lakes Bay, Rosewood Resort, Peter Island, for partnering with us, and all the others, because they've been very supportive to us, giving prizes and just supportive in all our initiatives. So we want to thank our partners.
Yes, that's great. That's a great package.
Yeah, it's a great
Lovely.
prize.
So there you go.
Thank
Miss
you very
Natasha
much.
James of Hodges Creek Marina Hotel. You are the winner of a staycation package at Little Dix Bay Hotel. 2 days, 2 nights,
2 nights.
2 nights for 2. I would like that
That's
one.
lovely.
Yeah, that's really good. Thank you all for being my guest. It's
Thank
always
you
a
for
pleasure
having
to
us.
see.
Thank
It's always
you.
a pleasure to see you.
Thank you for having
Tourist
us.
Board, I love
Yes.
it. Tourist Board don't come here often enough. I think
Yes.
y'all should come here more often.
We'll do better.
You'll do better. Good.
Yes.
You've been promising me for years.
I know you'd say that too.
Yes, indeed. Well, next week the spotlight will be on the Regional HIV Testing Day with National HIV/AIDS Program Coordinator Noeline Levance Clark. We're going to be talking about a lot of interesting things happening in HIV. In fact, HIV, I think, is going to soon become a communicable chronic disease. It's going to the chronic disease category. It's going to be interesting discussion. Ministry of Education and Culture officials will be here talking about Territory Day, national song, and a national gift. And I'm looking forward to changing my wear into the national, to design my own national dress in the style of the official national dress. So I'm looking forward to that discussion. And the members of the Social Security Board will be here with me as well, talking about the importance of self-employed persons making their Social Security payments. You know, something happened to you, you had a death in the family, and you go to Social Security looking for money to help with the funeral, and then you realize, boom, you didn't pay no Social Security as a self-employed person, you got no benefits. That's not a good time to find it out. So that's a commercial there for Social Security. So we're going to have Social Security officials coming to talk about self-employed persons paying their Social Security. Of course, Sean Rose will be here as well, talking about those stories making the headlines in JTV News. Channel 55, be sure to tune in. Spotlight is rebroadcast every Sunday afternoon at 2:30 p.m. Make sure you catch it. And you could also catch all the Spotlights on demand at jtvlive.net. So make sure all the Spotlights you missed, you can catch them on the internet and catch this show. So those of you who miss any of this show, catch it on Sunday. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your words of encouragement. For your continued suggestions and criticism, continue to email me at jtvspotlight@yahoo.com. I'm Edu reminding you that when the spotlight is on, you see the facts. Peace and blessings.
Spotlight is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, Clarence Thomas Limited, the BVI Tourist Board, and CCT Global Communications.